Fermato, and I am your New York State Assemblywoman. And I'm joined today with Senator Josephia Dabo, who is your senator in the area. We will be joined by Assemblyman Michael Blake, and Cooperatives United for Mitchell Lammer. Are they here? See you. Oh, all right. And of course, we're joined here today by many shareholders of the Dayton Beach Park, and I'm going to say the Dayton Towers community, and I thank you all for being here today. While I am a shareholder, today is not about me at all. Today is about my job. The reason I'm here, you elected me, and I'm here today for that reason. As your representative for the 23rd Assembly District, I'm here to give your voice to the voiceless. I need to shed light on an issue, a condition that is facing shareholders in this community. My job is to speak up. When my office is inundated with tons and tons of emails, phone calls, personal visits regarding the conditions in this co-op, and the agency is not protecting us, that's when I have to step in. It is our responsibility as your elected officials to make sure that your lives are safe and your quality of life is maintained. And I commit to do that for all of you. At this time, I would like to introduce Senator Dabo. Yeah.
Thank you, Stacey. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
It is a pleasure being here. I wish, hoping under better circumstances. I'm here to support my friend and colleague, Stacey Fermato, but to all the shareholders. You could all be somewhere else right now, but you're here because this is your home. This is a home. This is the place you've been for years, some for decades. And for the city to ignore you over the years is absolutely unacceptable. You know, in this day and age in New York City, this is New York City. This is not some third world country. This is not some place in the Midwest. This is New York City. And to not have heat at times is unacceptable. To not have electricity is unacceptable. To not have hot water in the winter, unacceptable. People should not have to live like this. You work very hard, or you have worked as a senior, you have worked hard. And the bottom line is you are deserving of a certain quality of life that the city, in my opinion, unfortunately, is cutting short. You're not having the quality of life that you should in this building. Rockaway is a great place to be.
Yes.
So when I hear someone say, I can't take it anymore here because of what's going on here, I'm leaving, that pains me. Because Rockaway is a great place and going to be a better place. And why does somebody have to leave? Because the city ignored them. Or because other people in the building didn't do their job or just not representing them right. It's wrong. It's wrong. Now, we can't cry over spilt milk. We can't turn the clock back. We can't, undo the unfortunate neglect that has been done. We need to move forward, but we need to tell the city they got to act now. It's not about, there's a lawsuit filed, so we can't do anything. You can't do that. These are people's homes. So I stand with you because everybody deserves, in this building, everybody deserves the quality of life that they deserve. And we're going to have to fight for it. If we do nothing, we get nothing.
Right.
And we're not going to do that.
Thank you. Again, as elected officials, we're here to break the red tape apart. We're here to help government or make sure that government does the job for you. But at one point, it stops. And it has stopped here. And that's when we have to move to another, we have to go to the next step. And I have to say, not me, but I have to say that the shareholders in this community have some tenacity. And they've been working very hard to make sure that we all have a great quality of life. But at one point, we needed a little help. And I have to say, sometimes it's good to know a lawyer. What the shareholders and will speak about is the action that they're taking, which is in the press release, which is in Article 78. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Michael Scala, who's the attorney representing a group of shareholders today. Michael.
Talk about corruption.
Good evening. I'm here because 435 of you signed a petition of no confidence in your board. I'm here because 435 shareholders of Dayton Beach Park cried out for HPD to do its job as the oversight agency, and I'm here because HPD, unfortunately, has refused to step in and help, leaving you no choice. You had to turn to the courts to help. And I'm here to let you know that while HPD has attempted to hush you, I will be your voice and your advocate in the legal system. To be frank with you, I waived over $15,000 in legal fees to take this on pro bono.
Fight the corruption, baby.
Thank you. So what's this all about? Stacy mentioned the Article 78. We are announcing today that we are filing an Article 78 proceeding at Queens Supreme Court on Monday, seeking a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction to suspend the board from continuing to spend your money. Suspend the board from continuing to spend your money in furtherance of its own interests. Now, let me tell you a funny story about what's going on here. I've been talking to HPD and their attorneys for some time now. Probably more accurately, I've been talking at them because they're not very responsive to me. We didn't want to go to court. This is our last resort here. But we tried to do this a polite way. We made our case. We told them what was going on here, and they responded with deafening silence. We asked them to see the financial records that we're all entitled to see. They responded by giving themselves an unreasonable deadline and then refusing to comply, extending their own deadline for months without giving us any written explanation for why they were doing this in violation of state law. By the way, why is it, do you think, that HPD has refused to hand over the records? Does it seem like they're trying to hide something from us?
Corruption.
They're in cahoots.
They're corrupt. They should all go to jail.
When we told them we were filing a lawsuit, they responded to that very quickly. And in fact, I was awakened early this morning by an angry call from the HPD attorney. But I believe that when you start your day off with an angry call from a New York City lawyer, you're doing something right. So what does that tell you? To me, that says that that legal action is sometimes the only language they speak. And this is about asserting our rights, the shareholders' rights. You know, the angry call today, they demanded more notice. We were filing an emergency application. I told them yesterday we were going to file it today. They weren't happy about that. They were crying that they needed more time. Maybe they had to find Queens on a map. I don't know. But they were not happy. So we said, look, we don't want to go to court and fight over procedure, and they're going to object to make a big stink. So what we're going to do is Monday, they agreed to this, Monday at 11 o'clock a.m., we're going to have an emergency hearing before the judge to request that temporary restraining order with an eye on removing the board entirely.
Yeah.
So to everyone who's paying attention right now, take a look around. People are fed up. People have had enough. This has been going on since at least 2011 when improprieties were found. The Department of Investigation had to step in, halt the election, suspend the voting. We still haven't had a director's election. They're using your own money to hire a corporate counsel to try to disenfranchise over 200 shareholders. When is enough enough? In the meantime, the co-op is falling into a state of disrepair.
Absolutely.
While shareholders and residents are getting threatening letters saying that they need to foot the bill, it's shameful, it's disgraceful, and we're here to say enough is enough. We're going to put a stop to it. Good.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
Bottom line is this: we need relief, and we need it now. From this point forward, the shareholders are fighting back. They're demanding to be heard. And I want to thank the shareholders, our assemblyperson, our state senator, all the elected officials. I see Mr. Blake is here. Everybody here fighting the battle with us. We're going to give them hell, and we're not going to stop until we're heard, because quite frankly, they're trying to shut us down.
Lock board. Lock them up.
I have a few shareholders speak out loud, but I'm really, I've learned anything in this world by seeing most of my neighbors here. It's about relationships. And going to the assembly 2 years ago when you sent me there, I happened to meet this nice man, Michael Blake. And I saw he was the chair of the subcommittee on Mitchell Lama. And boy, I want to become his friend.
Here we go. Help us, baby.
Now, he did have a nice title, but I have to say he is a man of integrity and knows his stuff. And we've been partnering together, and I'm honored and thrilled that he's here today to come and be here with you to understand what our needs are, because that's what we do. We all come together in our with our colleagues in government. But and I know this, the Cooperative United, it's very frustrating when you don't understand Mitchell Lama co-ops. But Michael, I know you understand what Mitchell Lama co-ops. Assemblyman Michael Blake.
Good afternoon. I'm really glad that you decided to have this on a warm day. It's beautiful out here. Exactly. My Jamaican blood's gonna keep me going right now. For those that I'm meeting for the first time, my name is Michael Blake. I'm an assembly member in the 79th District in the South Bronx. And as Stacy mentioned, I'm also the chair of the Mitchell-Lama Subcommittee. First to Stacy, who is a phenomenal assembly member. She has made it clear to us from day one of the issues that have been happening here and said we have to stand up and fight with you. And I said very clearly, it doesn't matter your zip code, you got to make sure you stand up for everyone. And that's why we're here today. So to her, first of all, thank you.
End the corruption.
I got to make sure I get Joe's haircut. I mean, that's how I'm going to do it right now. That's what I'm going to be doing, nice and smooth. But it's this collaboration that we all have to have as legislators, and the responsibility of them coming forward and saying we're going to stand up and be with you. Of course, to everyone that's here on today, we stand with you. And this is not just us being here today, it's about being consistent with you. That's the reason why you elect us. It's about making sure we step up and be engaged in that way. I'm just coming from a convening we had in Brooklyn, where we were standing and united with many of our allies when it comes to Mitchell-Lama, who were very frustrated, repeatedly asking, why is HPD not being transparent with information? Why are board meetings consistently kept closed? Why am I wondering about what's happening when it comes to the payments and the lack thereof? And whether it be HPD and or HCR, people are sick and tired of this. My former chief of staff is the one that's running the housing rights initiative right now, which has proved repeatedly that we've seen games that have happened over and over again. But that's why we're grateful for you to step up and say, when you have lawyers that step in, then good things can happen. Because it's our job to make sure we fight for you and step up for you. So I'm saying on behalf of our
Fight the corruption, baby.
that, everything that we can do from our committee and Mitchell-Lama Subcommittee to stand up when it comes to co-op, we're here with you. I've been consistent with this. My office is actually at Concourse Village because I said you can't talk about it unless you're going to watch it for yourselves. And we are tired of this frustration repeatedly. Why is it that you can't get answers? Why is it that you continue to put your money forward and you can't get any direction? Why is it you're always looking for repairs and no one can actually step up with you? We're saying enough is enough. So I close by saying this. There is no greater urgency that happens than making someone has decency when it comes to their home. You have worked hard to have a home. You had the ability to have a home. And you should know that people are going to protect you and stand with you. And so it's not just what we happen when the cameras are here. It's about staying with you when the cameras are not here as well. We say something often in our office. Your block won't block your blessing. Your zip code won't deny your destiny. And this Article 78 will be the first step of demonstrating that your destiny is going to be with you. We stand with you. Let's go.
Let's go. Board is corrupt.
So at this time, I would like to invite any of the shareholders to share their frustrations, because no one can speak better about this than they can. Joanne?
Oh, whatever you want to do.
Might as well start with Joanne, or Mary
All
Jo.
right, go ahead.
Break the ice.
Unfortunately, this, contrary to normally how I act, this is going to be very short and sweet. I'm sick, I'm sorry. My big girl voice. I speak for the shareholders when I say that we have reached out to HPD, the oversight agency, to be the voice of the shareholders for the past 10 years. The exact time frame that the incumbent board has been in their voluntary position. HPD has failed the shareholders by allowing infractions and blatant disregard of our bylaws and Mitchell-Lama rules. Where once we were a happy, collective community, we are now nothing more than people who commiserate over poor living conditions. We have to look to HPD to help and protect our investment in the property as shareholders. We live with broken pipes, failing elevators, filthy hallways. We have issues with drug dealers and addicts coming and going with ease. We have subletters and we have renters. We have office positions filled with family and friends of the board that are not qualified or competent enough to do the jobs that they're in. We are at the breaking point, and we are now seeking the legal system to protect us from HPD and from the board. HPD has been given so many opportunities to step up and protect the Mitchell-Lama program. And yet they have either postured on their duties or simply turned a blind eye to what goes on. They should have They should have taken the conviction of Cora Austin at Lindsay Park, who was arrested last year for corruption, as a segue to clean up the boards. But again, they close their eyes to it. How many more board presidents need to be taken away in handcuffs before HPD steps up to do their job?
One more. Yeah, a whole bunch of handcuffs.
Maybe two more.
A whole bunch of handcuffs, yeah.
Any other shareholder
Mary Jo?
wish to speak? Mary Jo?
Mary Jo.
Patty?
Don't be shy. Speak from the heart.
2 years ago, I decided to start a little group, and that's how we got started. This is going to be a quick and simple version. The shareholders have done everything in their power to reach out to HPD. Calls, texts, politicians, elected officials, okay? We have done everything we can to go through the legal system, follow the proper procedure, okay? And they're still fighting us on that. So I ask all shareholders today to stay united with our group and stand up for your rights. These are our homes. I will not allow them to be left in this condition or taken away by one HPD unit that doesn't want to stand up and hear the shareholders' side. So I ask you all that came here today to please keep coming, please keep attending our meetings, and let's get this done.
Fight the corruption, baby. Lock up the board.
Jimmy?
So, when I first came to Dayton Beach Park, I remember how excited I was. And we would call all the time to see what number they were up to. It was an awesome place to live. The people are still awesome, but the place is no longer awesome. And I kept venting on Facebook about the conditions and posting pictures of the broken elevators and call HPD and got nowhere. And then my knight in shining armor said, "Who's helping you?" That was Michael Scala. And I said, "Scala, at that time." And he stepped up, and Stacy and Joe, and now Mr. Blake. I want to love my home again. I don't think that's too much to ask. How did it become a shareholder to a dictatorship? How can this be allowed to happen in this day and age? Please help.
You said it, Patty.
I do want to say, you have to stay united, right? We're more powerful together. The meetings, to say that the flyers that come in the middle of the night, I know that's why volunteer, just like the volunteer board, okay? But we need to stay united and keep our voices together. But I have to say, when we were searching, when the shareholders were first trying to go private, and they were warehousing apartments, Mary Jo, God bless her little soul, Googling like a maniac, came across this wonderful group that exists, Co-ops United for Mitchell-Lama, right? And we just started having conversation back and forth, and we found out that we weren't alone in this conversation of going private, and HPD actually promoting it. And we found this group, and I would love for you to come up, introduce yourself. If you could say a few words, I know you're representing your group. Yeah. And
See you 4ML, baby! They helped us to get our start.
They really are very well organized, way before us, but I think they're going to like this new membership they're getting.
My name is Joe Roberts. Let me just mention I am a member of Cooperators United for Mitchell-Lama, and they meet quarterly in Manhattan, and they welcome all new members to come out and join their coalition. What's going on here is happening all over the city in various co-ops. I was out in Rochdale Village in Jamaica, Queens, which is overseen by HCR. So we're going through the same problems that you're going through with HPD. But I would say I applaud your efforts, and stay strong and continue doing what you're doing. We're having the same problems with our board. Thank you.
Thank you. We know what we're here, right? Yeah. Again, it's not about me. It's about all of you. It's about shareholders uniting. It's about, I have to say, I'm quite proud. I mean, I keep turning around and looking at all of you out here today. And this says a lot. But we have to keep this going together. So I'd like to thank everyone for being out here today. Senator Dabo, thank you so much for always being my partner.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Michael Blake,
People, thank you everybody so much. Mike Scala, you're a doll. We love
Mike
you.
Scala, I want to say, as a country, we rely on the judicial process to help in situations like this. And in this case, we are hopeful for a positive outcome. We have to believe in what we believe in as a judicial system, and they will see that our rights have been abused and abandoned here, and I hope that they will be positive in our behalf.
Yes.
Stay posted, stay together, God bless, and be well.
Thank you.
Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up!